Welcome to the Unlimit podcast, brought to you by Bitcoin Unlimited. For today's episode, I have with me Akane Yokoo, one of the founding members of Satoshi's Angels, and Alejandro Blanco, a Satoshi's Angels community manager in Latin America. Thank you both for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So Satoshi's Angels as an organization has been around for at least a little while now. Akane, could you tell us how it all got started?
Sure. We actually started more than 2 years ago, about 2 years ago. And but we haven't been really active like publicly until I guess around a year ago. And I think that's why most of you have probably started seeing us around a year ago or so. And how we started, we were some individuals in BCH community. We're promoting, we believed in the peer-to-peer electronic cash. We wanted to use, we wanted BCH to be used as cash for the world. And so like some of us were active in the BCH community, and we decided to sort of team up to join the forces so that we can help more and bigger. And that's how we started.
Very cool. So what are Satoshi's Angels' long-term goals? I mean, you said you believe in peer-to-peer electronic cash. So what does that mean to the organization?
Our biggest goal is the adoption of peer-to-peer electronic cash. In our mind, it's BCH right now, to the masses. So we do community growth, we do adoption, like version adoption, user adoption, and also education about crypto. So those are our long-term goals and our missions.
Very cool. And Alejandro, so you started pretty recently as a community manager, is that right?
Well, I'm recently the community manager for Satoshi's Angel. I've been in the cryptocurrency space way back. It was, I believe, 2012 when I started into this. For a little background, I'm an intellectual property lawyer here in Venezuela, and I was researching for trademarks and patent filings here in Venezuela, and I find out about this thing called Bitcoin, and then it all started there for me. I began investigating and getting into this, and then we find out about Bitcoin Cash, which is the currency that I believe and I'm profound committed to bring to masses, because it's the one they can be used as currency. Then I've been around in the community for a little while. Two years ago, I was involved in the Bitcoin Cash Association. I was there participating as an ambassador for the community here in Venezuela. I helped grow up a few of the groups here in Venezuela that was talking about crypto and taking people into this space. And then everything happened in the market. Venezuela started to fall apart economic-wise, and I have to start looking other options for me. So I stopped the work for a while. Then I started joining the Satoshi Angels because one of a common friend I have here, and they called me back. They called me into it, and I'm very happy to be here. I'm gonna bring my best to help them work to find a new community here, grow up as a community, and bring adoption to the masses.
Sure. Now,
I just want to say we're really, really excited to have him. Sorry, I just wanted to say we're really excited to have him because he has a lot of experience in community growth and merchant adoption of BCH, and he speaks Spanish, and so like he can help us in those like Latin America area. So we're really excited to have him.
That's great to hear. So I guess a big part of what you do is organizing these groups, and maybe that's what you meant by groups is the meetups. Could you talk a little bit about what it is you provide as far as like services helping people start meetups?
Is that question for me?
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Akane.
Oh, so the question was, how do we help people get started with the meetups?
Sure, if you please.
Sure. Yeah. So if anybody's interested in starting a meetup in their local area, we usually get like introduction from somebody who heard about this new person who wants to start a meetup somewhere, and then they come to us, and we can basically help set up the group on meetup.com. And that's what most of the meetup groups use to create meetups and to communicate with the members about the upcoming events. And so we also pay for the subscription, thanks to the supporters of Flipstarter campaign that we did in October. And we can set up the group. We can help with the description, like what your group wants to sort of convey, like what kind of message, do they want to convey, and also help organizing meetups, and we can help with the step-by-step, like how to organize the actual meetups, including finding the venues. And you actually know this well, because you recently started one in Philadelphia with us, and yeah, it's like that's what we do. And you wanted to help find a merchant first, so yeah, we did that. And
I would like to add here that one of the most important part of the job that ambassador or someone as a leader of a meetup have to do here is to explain people what money really is. We are in a mission to educate everybody about what really is money. That's the thing we have to start with here. And you talk about money with someone, and it looks like it's something pretty easy to understand, because you use it every day, you see it, you feel it. But how come the humanity finally accept any currency as a mean of exchange? How the humanity got to this point where everything is focused on a piece of paper right now, fiat currencies around the globe, dollars, euros, whatever, it's the same. Bolivars, it's the same, all around the globe. Well, now we are in a mission to explain people this only works because we believe it does. And now I need you to change focus in something that cannot be controlled, and that's Bitcoin Cash. It can be used as money, it's fast, it's cheap, it's safer than currency. So that's one of the key missions, I believe, as ambassador or as a leader of a meetup, we have to bring to these communities everywhere. We need to teach people about what are we doing wrong with money.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Thank you for adding that. I appreciate it. And I'd also like to get to the a little bit about the Flipstarter campaign you mentioned. But first, I would just like you sort of comment generally that I think, if I had to guess anyway, the average Bitcoin Cash community member finds the idea of starting a meetup to be intimidating, to say the least. But could you talk just a little bit about, and maybe this isn't the case, but how much you think it is that an average person can do a meetup? Is this the sort of thing that really just anyone can do, especially with the help you guys can provide? Is there anything that people looking into this should be, be ready for or be expecting?
And I wrote an article. I think it was erased because it was on Honest Cash, but I think you can still find the CoinSpice old article. I wrote, the title was like how to organize a meetup in 15 minutes. And I calculated the time I was, using to organize the Tokyo weekly meetups. And I was, I was spending less than like 15 minutes. Most of the time it's like only like 10 minutes because there aren't that many things to do. So it doesn't really take that much time to organize either. I mean, if you actually go to the meetup, you end up spending some time, but it's fun, right? But organizing itself, it doesn't take that much time. So even if you're working, like I was working like more than full time, and I had a startup as well. So like, but I was able to do it. So yeah, even if you're busy, I'd say you can do it too. So
I'm gonna add to what Akane just said, which is totally true, with a little example. How much time do you think you need to explain someone how to use this? It's the same with Bitcoin Cash, just digital. I have it here, I give it to you, that's it, period. Easy. That's the magic and the beauty of Bitcoin Cash. Fast and easy, secure. So to start a meetup, and I think this is an opportunity for Satoshi's Angel. We can create a guide, step-by-step guide with information, and probably it's going to be in the Satoshi's website pretty soon, and everybody can go there, download, and that's it, period. You have a meetup in no time with everything you have to say. You can add whatever you want to it, but you have it ready now. So it's that easy. You have to explain people about money. That's it. There's nothing else. Technology-wise, fine. If you want to do a meetup about technology, around technology, that's great. That's awesome. But you don't see people asking how this money was printed. What are the characteristics of this bill here? Nothing. People doesn't matter that. What we just need to do is teach people that you can use this as money. Period. That's it. Don't overcomplicate. Don't overthink it. People want to use whatever is useful for their life, so they can go out there, don't lose money in the way to the supermarket as is currently happening in Venezuela, Argentina, and other countries around the world with inflation. It's sad. You go out with this in your pocket, and when you get to the supermarket, it's worthless. Really is. You get to the supermarket with $10 here, and probably what you bought yesterday, you can buy it today. $10. No bolivars. Forget bolivars. They are worthless right now. But now dollars is becoming the second thing. Not only in Venezuela, in the globe. So we have to step it up. We have to make the change. We need to start thinking about this. It's a real issue.
Good deal. Well, I appreciate
that's all for me right now.
Sure, yeah, for providing that perspective, and thank you, Akane, for giving a bit of an overview on what it's like to start up a meetup and what's really involved. I think especially finding out that maybe even when you started, it wasn't like all right, time to start and manage 50 meetups. You just did it, and it wasn't that bad. I think that's great for everyone to hear, because being in the process of starting a meetup myself, I'm also finding that to be the case. Definitely doable by, I think, anybody, as long as you're willing to set aside that, say, 15 minutes to do the organization each time. Maybe a little bit more startup cost, but let's change gears then to talk a little bit about the Flipstarter campaign you mentioned. So you were successfully funded. Now, for anyone watching who doesn't know, Flipstarter is a decentralized crowdfunding platform for Bitcoin Cash. It works a lot like Kickstarter. If the full funding goal is reached, the funds are sent, and if it's not, then the funds never leave anyone's wallet. And you guys ran a successful one last year. Could you tell me a little bit, Akane, about what were the items that were funded in that Flipstarter, and then we'll also get to maybe how those things are going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd like to first of all thank all the donors who supported our campaign, because without you guys, we couldn't have been, doing all this. So thank you. There are so many items we included in the campaign. It was really long. Would you like me to go over?
Well, maybe whichever ones you think are the biggest list items, maybe, or the most exciting ones, or maybe even also which ones have you had made the most progress on recently, so we can hear about how they're going. Anything like that.
Sure. we basically we had four sections. One is community growth, community growth, merchant adoption, events, and education. And I'd say we're making a lot of progress on community growth and adoption, and also education, which I'm going to talk in a little bit more in details. Starting from community, we have Alejandro helping us, and Monica, who is another wonderful community manager, who's been in BCH for a long time. She's been supporting the BCH meetup organizers for a while, and she's really wonderful. And like they're helping us, and we have about 80 to 90 BCH meetups, and we had some new startups recently. So yeah, and lots of meetups became inactive due to maybe lack of organizers. Organizers being busy, or like due to the biggest number one reason being COVID restrictions. Lots of places have these restrictions, and so organizers cannot. It's not easy for them to organize meetups, and I'm sure it was affected in your area as well, John. And so we wanted to follow up with all the meetups to make sure where they're at, and to find out like what are their challenges, what are going well, how we can help. And so we just did that last month with 3 of us. We just followed up with all the meetup organizers, or check the status, and to see what we can do. So we're going to work on providing more support for those meetups, so that they can be active again, or they can improve, or there's always room for improvement, right, for everything. So that's what we're doing. And yes, and we're also providing like support all the time, like on Telegram, and organizers can reach out to us anytime about anything. And yes, and another thing we raised on the campaign was the fund, monthly fund that we can use to support these meetups. And I really wanted to start this because Bitcoin Cash Association, which Alejandro was working for before as well, they're like the glue for the meetups before they went inactive. And it was like, some people might think meetups don't really need money. I mean, they run on volunteer basis, and they do. But as an organizer, organizing weekly meetups, it was like a really big help. Like, because, many of us are very enthusiastic organizers, and like we always, when we see like new members, we always give away Bitcoin Cash from our pocket. And also, we spend money on like food and stuff like that at the venue, and it piles up, and it's okay because we like doing it. But like people in Japan, like I can afford it. I can afford to buy things and give away some Bitcoin Cash. It's fine. But like for example, in like some countries, or like some organizers, maybe they don't have the money to sort of do this at all, like give away even some Bitcoin Cash. So it's really helpful for them to have an access to like this kind of fund, so they can use it to sort of develop their meetups and do a giveaway or things like that. And some meetups have been using this fund already, and I'm really happy to see that these people are really utilizing this fund. And they came back to us and said, like, thanks to this fund, like they had more people than usual, more new members, or so it's been really, really helping. And one meetup organizer, Nurain in Nigeria, he has been using this fund, and like he's trying to expand his events so that he can talk about Bitcoin Cash to more people by like inviting influencers in that area and inviting so that they can have more audience. And yeah, I'm really happy to see that like those people are like, yeah, using the fund to grow their meetups. So that's one thing, and I'm really happy about that. And that's community and adoption. So we're working really hard on this adoption campaign, and Alejandro is helping as well. And he just translated this campaign into Spanish, and it's on our website, satoshiangels.com. And so what we're doing is, so what we promised in the campaign is we would help onboard 40 to 50 merchants a month using this, fund that we raised. And we started one campaign, which is limited to Thailand and Japan with Go Crypto, which is a POS payment service that has fiat off-ramp at the end of October. And we started this global adoption campaign we're running on December 10th. And since then, we had about, I think, 110 or something merchants onboarded for BCH payments globally. And so what this campaign is you can earn up to $30 with a tweet, and the rewards depends on the country, and the details are on our website. But this campaign is for everybody, like in any country, and you can use any service that has Bitcoin Cash to onboard a local merchant, like not just the payment service providers like BitPay or Go Crypto that has fiat options, but also you can use Bitcoin.com's wallet, which many people use already, and it's very simple to use, or like Edge Wallet, or like any Bitcoin Cash wallets, or maybe Bitcoin.com's Bitcoin Cash Register app, which was made for shops. It's very easy to use as well, and AnyPay. And any service that's available that has BCH in it. So we wanted to make it very simple so that more people feel like they want to join. And so we're excited about this campaign, and we had lots of adoption in Thailand, and Jaja did a great job onboarding that laundry chain in Thailand. And we had some people participating from the Philippines, United States, Iran, and we're actually working with some of the community leaders in the space, like sort of under the surface right now, so they can teach their community members about this campaign. And so like we're hoping that more people will see the growth like much more soon, I'm hoping. Alejandro, would you like to elaborate about the campaign?
It's a combined effort, because we have to do the meetups so people understand what Bitcoin Cash is, how to use it. And then on the other side, we have to bring in commerce. We need businesses to start accepting crypto for the people that now know how to use it, can go there and spend it or earn crypto. Because once we teach a business owner, he can pay his employees. Now we have created a circle that the Bitcoin Cash is flowing into the economy and is maintaining there. So it's a combined task. We need to do meetups. We need to read merchants and bring it on board. And that's a job we are starting to do right now. We are trying to convince businesses around the globe to start accepting Bitcoin Cash as a means of payment, online or physical. Because the campaign that we are running right now, it's also available for online businesses that want to accept Bitcoin Cash as a form of payment there. Because, e-commerce growth due to COVID a lot during the pandemic, and still we are still in the pandemic. So we expect that e-commerce continue growing as it's going, and then is an opportunity for Bitcoin Cash to enter the game of way of payment for this e-commerce. So that's what we are trying to do here right now.
So could you tell me, Alejandro, a little bit about how things are going so far in Venezuela, or if not, if you haven't had the chance to do as much community building since you started, maybe what is the state of awareness in Venezuela, given, your impression of it? How many people are generally aware? Are there many places that already accept it?
Well, Venezuela is a special case. I don't know why, but it's a special case. Let me tell you this. Venezuela, 2 years ago, had nothing. The crypto space was almost empty. No one knew, no one talked about cryptocurrencies. But all of a sudden, the government got the idea to create its own crypto, the Petro. So now cryptocurrencies are in the news. In every state channel, they're talking about it, talking about the Petro, Bitcoin, and all of that. And well, people is now aware of this subject here in Venezuela. I can tell you pretty much everyone has heard about cryptocurrencies here in Venezuela. Now, the thing is, do they accept it? Do they know how to use it? That's another story. Because we are in a country with hyperinflation, the biggest in the recent history for the world. This is devastating for any economy. But we are still here. So people is very, how you say incredible about this main mean of payment. They don't believe much on this because people are used to the fiat currency. The subject we start talking with. I need to teach people what fiat currency is, so you're gonna start understanding that you can use anything as currency, anything. We just did as humanity. We just did. We went through salt. We exchanged horses as a mean of payment. So literally, you can use whatever you want as currency, whatever we want, whatever we decide. It's gonna be a fair mean of payment for goods and services. That's all. We take the decision when to unplug from fiat currencies. It's up on us. So people here in Venezuela have this attraction to dollars. And everybody is moving from bolivars to dollars. Historically, it always happens, always. So it's our work to bring that attention away from the dollar and now into Bitcoin Cash. It's not an easy task, but it's doable because, as I told you before, we need to teach people what's going on with this currency here. Why you go to the supermarket with this and you cannot buy what you just bought yesterday. Will that happen with cryptocurrencies? No, it won't. Once you understand what currency is, you won't let it happen. So that's a process. We have a community here, Bitcoin Cash community. It's big. It's not that big, but it's big. And we are starting to move our things here. It's getting ready to create meetups. We're getting ready to bring up adoption here in Venezuela. Most of the guys I talk and I did a meetup with them, they are, ready. They like the idea of the bounty program, and they're gonna start to move gear here in Venezuela. So probably in a month or two, we're gonna see some really good progress down here.
That's great to hear. Yeah, I think the bounty program has a huge amount of potential, and I'm grateful to you guys for taking that on and taking the initiative to make it happen. So maybe we could move on then to the education and outreach. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yep.
Oh yeah, yes. Sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, sorry, I haven't finished with the Flipstarter campaign. I got too excited and went long on adoption and community, but yeah. And and we're working on many other things. For education, big blocks, big boys. Cindy Wang, she's an influencer in the Chinese community. She makes those videos. She invites like investors of crypto, and they talk about Bitcoin Cash, and they are targeting we are targeting the Chinese audience, and it's been reaching a lot of audience. For one video, 7,000 live view and tens of thousands of views later. And so we're glad that we're reaching, more people in the Chinese community, and also we translate that in Chinese and English later, so that we can reach more different language speaking audience later as well. So that's going well. And also I'm really happy about how the Bitcoin Cash weekly news is going. So we started this, we include this in the campaign deliverables, and each week we pick about 10 news about Bitcoin Cash, and we write the news in English, Chinese, and Japanese, and we have media partners in some countries like in China, and I think the one that we published 2 weeks ago, it reached 100,000 viewers for 1 week, and in the Chinese community, and also we recently partnered with a Japanese leading media. I think it's the biggest Japanese crypto news media, and they have 1 million monthly visitors. They're called Coin Otaku. Their official name is Coin Partner, but they are publishing our news in more details with screenshots and pictures and stuff. It's really easy to use to see, and in Japanese. So we're really happy about that partnership because we can reach more Japanese audience, and teach them about Bitcoin Cash, because I feel like the information about Bitcoin Cash is sort of lacking in Japan. So we're really happy about that. And yes, yeah, so those are deliverables, and I'm happy to say we're working really hard, and to achieve these, and we're making good progress, and thanks to the community. So
sure, yeah, that sounds like fantastic exposure, especially given that the Bitcoin Cash community is still kind of a niche in a microcosm, and so numbers like that I think are exceptionally good, and I'm excited to see how much exposure you can bring to Bitcoin Cash, and of course to Satoshi's Angels and your organization. So this might be a good place to wrap up, but I'd like to ask if either of you has anything else you'd like to talk about, or maybe something you wanted to get to that we haven't before we do.
Akane?
Oh yeah, sure. Few things. Well, we haven't really had it, because there are some people like you and like Hayden, like George Donnelly, who are working to bring the adoption of Bitcoin Cash in this space, and we haven't had a chance to really work with them. So I hope to talk to George or Hayden about maybe, I don't know, how we can work together to accelerate the adoption of BCH in those areas like Australia and Latin America. And also, I forgot to say, when I was talking about the meetups, I said if anybody's interested in organizing a meetup in your local area, and if you don't want to do it by yourself, and if you cannot find organizers, I will be happy to help co-organize online. I mean, I'm not everywhere, but so I can't physically help, but I can, maybe write up an event information, and post an event, and just guide you step by step if you're interested. So just wanted to say that.
I'm also available in Venezuela if anybody needs help, information, a guide, whatever. Yeah, I'm available. Write me on Twitter or Telegram, or I'm there for the people. We need to bring this to the masses. We are focused on that.
Well, that's great to hear. I'm excited, as I've said, to see the progress you guys are going to make, and I'm very optimistic about the future of Bitcoin Cash with people like you available to make things like starting meetups so much easier for people that might otherwise not even consider it and never find out how neat of a thing it is and how easy it can be. So yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time to come on the podcast, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much for having us. It was fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to our viewers, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to Bitcoin Unlimited on YouTube and look for this podcast on your favorite podcast distribution platform.